doing well. Am I crooked? Am I slightly crooked? Maybe. Whatever. Hi. My name is Emma, but I really my real name is Alex, and today you are watching TV show commentaries Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to upload this video. I think Thursday. Maybe. I don't know. But it's a TV show commentary on the new Euphoria special. I've said this before, I think a million times. I love Euphoria. It's one of my favorite shows of all times. I love it so much. It's everywhere. We're here. It's pretty much everywhere on this wall of my favorite things. I really love it. I think it's a beautiful show. It's beautifully made, like aesthetically speaking. Like it's so aesthetically pleasing. The cinematography is amazing. I find the acting amazing, the directing amazing. Like as a show production, it's so good. I find it to be so good on all the technicalities. And then in the story, I personally love it because of the mental health part that they speak about, especially on Rue's part. So if you haven't, I guess you've probably seen the show if you're watching this. So we know that Rue has a few mental health problems. I think from the first episode they find out, I think if I'm not mistaken, she has bipolar disorder and a panic disorder, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't watched the first episode in a while. I did watch it a few months ago. I think in October I watched it for a commentary video, so I'll link that somewhere over here for you to watch it if you want to. I was supposed to do the whole show, but then things happen and I haven't done that, and I don't know if I ever will. I probably will, probably won't. I don't know, we will see. But she goes through all of that, and the way the show portrays mental health, and I don't know, I very much connected with that. I personally have a very bad anxiety disorder. I don't like to talk about mental health a lot. It's kind of difficult. But yeah, I just have really bad anxiety that sometimes evolves, you could say, into depression. It's weird, but they're both very much connected, and like my depression kind of, comes to say hi when my anxiety is going like particularly bad. So it comes and goes, whatever. The point is, I know what it's like to have really bad anxiety. I know what it's like to have a panic attack, and I hate them, of course. I don't think anyone likes to have panic attacks. They're pretty awful. So yeah, basically when I first watched this show, it was the first show that I was watching that talked about these things. What it's like to have a panic attack, what it feels like to have depression, and in the case of Rue, because she has bipolar disorder, what it feels like to be maniac, which I don't personally know how that feels like, because I've never felt what it is to be manic. But all of those things, I very much felt connected to that, and that's why I personally really love the show. But I have to say something that I recently realized, thanks to Kenny JD. She's a YouTuber. She's a beauty YouTuber, but she has this series on her channel where she talks about bad movies and does her makeup, and that it's pretty funny. It's amazing. And she talks about a lot of different movies and some shows here and there. And she recently, today actually, when I'm recording this video, she uploaded a video about Euphoria and why she doesn't like it, why she watched one episode and decided to not watch the rest of the show because she thought it was very disturbing. And I'm gonna link her video below so that you can watch it, especially if you're a Euphoria fan. I feel like we should be talking about this a little more, but basically she talked about how it's just so freaking weird that this show is about teenagers, but that it's so like crude, like it's so harsh. It has a lot of nudity, a lot of adult content, violence. It's like a very harsh show that is intended for adults. Like, this is not a show directed to teenagers. It's technically speaking a show directed to adults, but it's about teenagers. So of course teenagers are also going to watch it. Even though it's directed to adults, teenagers are going to watch it, which is all kinds of weird because technically speaking teenagers shouldn't be watching the show. But again, it's a show about teenagers and what teenagers supposedly go through, which from what I've heard from reviews and stuff and like internet, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, what I've read is that apparently the show is very real when it comes to all of the things that the show portrays. So like I said, I personally find the mental health part to be very real and very relatable. But for me, for example, not only A, I'm an adult, I'm not a teenager, so I don't relate to that, but also B, my teenage experience was nothing like the teenage experience that you see in the show, so I couldn't relate to that at all. But there is a lot of people that say that that's how their teenage experience was and all of that. So like apparently it is very, very real, but it's, I don't know, like it is weird that this is a show for adults that portrays teenagers and that those teenagers are nude for a lot of it. And to be honest, as it is, I've always find nudity in shows or movies to be uncomfortable because A, nudity is usually just women. Like when you see the warning of like a show or a movie is going to have nudity, it's usually because you're going to see boobs, and I've always found that to be a little like because it's like the over sexualization of a woman's body, and I've never liked that because it's usually directed to men. So I just always found it very uncomfortable, which is actually one of the reasons why I didn't watch Game of Thrones for a really long time. But I learned to get past it, to like kind of ignore it, because there is a lot of good content out there that does have nudity. So I've learned to like not really care about it. So when I watched Euphoria for the first time, even though it was very shocking of the nudity and the violence and like the sex and all of that, I kind of, it made me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna say it didn't, because it did make me uncomfortable, but I kind of like got through it and concentrated on how beautiful it was visually and again the mental health part. But after watching Kenny's video, it got me thinking a lot about how these actors, even though they're all adults and it's totally legal for them to be nude because they're adults, they're still portraying 16-year-olds, and we as viewers are supposed to see them as 16-year-olds. So technically speaking, we're watching 16-year-olds being nude and having sex and all of this. Yeah, it makes me very uncomfy, and now it's making me rethink this show a lot, because even though I do have this kind of like I don't want to say it like that, more like I find kind of like a comfort in the show because of the way they talk about mental health, and I also find the show to be very beautiful to watch. Even though those are the things that I love, should I still watch and support something that is kind of problematic technically because of the whole nudity teenager stuff, just because I love it because of these reasons? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, because also at the end of the day, everything is totally legal and kind of normal because the actors are all adults. I don't know. What do you think? I very much recommend you go watch Kenny's video. Go watch it with an open mind. I know a lot of people that really love this show really get offended if anyone says anything negative about their favorite show and all that. But she does have a lot of great points, and it makes you think. I think it definitely makes you think. But yeah, I'm still gonna watch this special because I don't know. I don't know if I will stop watching this show entirely. I think I don't know. I don't know. I still want to watch the special and, you know, see what these videos have been, what I end up thinking about the special at the end. And I'm just going to think about pretty much everything that Kelly said on her video a little more after, because I literally just watched her video, so it's like everything is very fresh in my mind right now. I haven't properly thought about it, so yeah. I don't know. It's a big I don't know for me. I'm kind of conflicted, but I still love the show. Like I don't know. Is it wrong to say that I love the show because of that? Because it's kind of a big deal, though, the whole sexualization of teenagers. It's not good. This has been very long. I don't know. What are your thoughts, really? Like, please comment down below your thoughts. And the score is also amazing. Like the soundtrack, it's also so good. Like, for example, it seems like this, if it's a dream or whatever, it's kind of like a dream of the future, and that it kind of seems like they're in college. If the show would have happened in college, it would have made so much more sense, because they would be all adults, and it wouldn't be icky. It wouldn't be like, you know, which is something that Kenny also said, which it makes sense, because it's just, you just have to make them a few years older.
The way I was like putting way too much of my emotional well-being in her hands, you know, without ever like talking about it or saying it. Yeah, especially the way I was fucking making plans for the rest of our life and shit. And just...
Oh, that's sad. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. You've gone through some shit, whether it's mental health related or, you know, you've gone through drama or just you've gone through some shit, okay? When you know what like pain is, and you feel vulnerable, especially like when you're going through something, you're pretty vulnerable. And a lot of the times, if you meet someone or if someone from your life becomes that support, which of course we all need support systems, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can pick someone, not on purpose, like this doesn't usually happen on purpose, but like there would be someone that makes you happy, and because they make you happy, and because for a long time all you've known is sad and pain, because this person gave you that happiness, you get attached pretty easily and pretty quickly, and everything, like your world becomes that person, and that's not healthy at all. That is so not healthy. So, and it is what happened with Rue. Like, she was going through a lot of shit, and then she met Jules, and Jules was making her happy, so Jules became her world, and when Jules left, it broke her, and I'm pretty sure she's still very much broken. Like, I don't think, like, she's saying right now that she's all okay or whatever, but like, we're pretty sure it's not okay. But like, it is true. It can happen like that, and it's hard. It's definitely hard.
I mean, it's not like I'm doing a bunch of shit. I'm just so I'm a little bit of weight. taking some pills that were prescribed to me.
My point is, it's not gonna last.
Yeah, well, neither do my moods when I'm sober.
Okay, well, you know, I'm not saying you're a paragon of mental health. You've got your issues.
That's another thing that I also really appreciated about the show is not only the show but movies like Beautiful Boy. They show drug addiction as something more real. I don't know, like I feel like prior to watching that movie and this show and other things, when drug addicts were depicted, they were depicted as bad people that lied, that all they did was for drugs and yada yada yada. And they always say drugs are bad, which, yes, drugs are bad. Don't do drugs, okay? But they never said or talked about why people turn to drugs. Of course, case by case is going to be different. For example, with Rue, she has not only a lot of shit going on with her family and stuff, with her dad passing, but her bipolar disorder and her anxiety and all of the things that she goes through, and like I can see why she turned to drugs. Like I can understand why she would turn to drugs because she found something that quieted all of the shit that goes on her mind. Is it a good solution? No. It is not. It is not a good solution. The good solution is therapy. And if your psychiatrist, prescribes you with like actual good drugs for whatever you're going through, then that's the way to go. Don't take drugs. But the thing is, we should be a little more, I feel like, knowing why people take drugs, like knowing that they're trying to shut up their brains basically because of all of the pain that they're going through. Like knowing that makes me feel more compassion towards drug addicts because at the end of the day they're just sick and they need help. We shouldn't villainize them like that. Of course, again, it's different case to case. Of course, it's like if someone has been hurt by a drug addict, like it's wrong. At the end of the day, if you commit a crime, that's a crime. There's no excuse. I'm not trying to excuse them. I'm just trying to say that sometimes there's a big reason behind the drug taking, and it could be like a pretty big reason, kind of like with Rue. So maybe we should be a little bit more compassionate towards people like that. Maybe let's just all be a little bit more kind. I think that's what we need in the world, is to all be just a little bit more kind to other people. Plus, think about it this way. If all you've known is pain, and like pain, like so much pain, it's really dark right here, like it's really dark, it's really painful. Sometimes it can be very physical, like the mind is very strong. And if all you've known is that pain, right, and you find this thing that you know is bad, drugs are bad. We all know it. We all learn it from a really young age that drugs are bad. But you, for some reason, happen to find yourself with drugs in your hand, and you find this thing, and someone tells you that this is the answer to your pain, this is what's going to get rid of it, so you take it, and it does. It takes it away. It's definitely the easy way out. It's not the good way out. Like I said, it's the good way out. It's therapy and like proper medication. Drugs are not the answer. Drugs will never be the answer. But like I said, at least from knowing from this show and like, again, movies like Beautiful Boy, you can kind of see why people turn to drugs. It doesn't make it okay, but you can at least understand it better.
Okay, he didn't die to, have us all come together or whatever the fuck people tell people when they don't have anything to say. He died because he died. That's it.
That's a
Same
good
stupid
argument.
reason. I came out of the womb with a couple wires
Against the whole
crossed,
God has a purpose
right?
thing.
17-year-olds who are better, who are kinder, who are more respectful than you aren't sitting here. I don't know. That's the mystery. But here we are. So what now?
That is also true.
I don't know.
We don't know, but
Maybe I'll.
at the end of the day, it's like you're here, you're living. Might as well try and
Never
have
heard,
a
man.
good life and like
Revolutions are no
do
longer
something with
radical.
it. I don't know. What's the meaning of life? Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? Because I'm pretty clueless, to be honest, right now. Definitely very clueless. Whatever. Clueless.
Fuck you, Nike. You don't give a fuck about anything or anyone. Chinese Muslims are sewing these Kaepernick sneakers for 7 cents an hour, and you telling me my black ass matters? Give me a fucking break. If
Wow,
rap music
true
was
though.
mainstream,
That's
if
actually true.
Nirvana was still the most
Corporations,
popular
big
band in America,
corporations,
they'd be out
big
here saying
brands
depression matters.
don't really
because
care
that's what
about
those
anything
sneakers
that's not money.
Is that a problem? Oh, wow.
Is it laced within my DNA to be braced in endless
I find it very interesting how like the two sides of this scene with her alone listening to this sad song and him having this conversation with his daughter and like reconnecting kinda. It was nice. Like visually. It looked very nice.
She cheated on me when I was sober. She literally cheated on me.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know they were in an actual relationship.
So you were in a relationship.
Yeah.
I thought you two were just friends.
Yeah, me too. They did like they had a thing, but
When did it shift?
they never
The night of the carnival, she came over.
they never properly said we are in
Okay,
a
but when you
relationship.
became a relationship, you two talked about being together.
What? That's so weird.
What?
How would we talk about it?
Because that's what you do,
Because
honey.
that's how people get in a relationship. But the one thing I know is true is that the longer you do drugs, the more you're gonna lose. And not just in terms of the things you love, but the things you value about yourself.
Yeah, because at the end, that's the thing. Like, you know how I said drugs are the easy way out? Like, yeah, maybe, but there's a whole more of wrong that happens with drugs. Like he's saying, it changes you. Like it's it's a lot. We've all seen it. I feel like we've all seen the repercussions of drugs, not only physically with people ODing and all that, but also with relationships and your morals and all of that. It ruins everything basically. So even though at the beginning, like he's saying, like right now you're functioning, you're okay, it seems like a good option, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna be the good option.
I just don't really plan on being here that long.
They should have a more of a trigger warmer. Because at the beginning, it said nudity, adult content, adult language. But it should be a little bit bigger of a warning of like talks of suicide and drugs. A lot of people find the talk of suicide to be very triggering. It should be more specified at the beginning of the episode.
How do you want your mom and sister to remember you?
That is harsh. There are a lot of people that think about suicide and think about ending things. You're hurting a lot and you just want the pain to go away and you think that ending it is the only solution, but you don't think about the other people, because that's the thing. It's mental health is a whole thing, but like you convince yourself that the people around you don't need you and that you don't deserve them and like all of the things you convince yourself. And of course, they're not true. You have people around you that love you and like will be very, very sad if you're gone. It takes sometimes, like in this case, Ali to tell Rue like, what about your sister? What about their mom? Like, for her to like realize that, you know, it's not all about you. A lot of people call people that commit suicide selfish. And yes, technically speaking, they are a little bit, but I don't know. It's hard. I think it also, it's not only hard, but like the reasons behind it, I think, vary from person to person. And oh yeah, oh, it is hard. I do think things like this shown in media are important, but it is hard to watch. Wow, that was it. This was Travel Don't Last Always, a special from Euphoria, and I really liked it. I loved the conversation that they had. I loved that the whole episode was pretty much that, the conversation between the two. Like I said, this is why I love the show, because they talk about these things, and not only this, like the whole thing with the bullying and Kat's story, for example, being a bigger girl, you know, the struggle with that. I feel like a lot of shows don't even care about the Maddie's and Nate's storyline of a toxic, abusive relationship, Nate's storyline of having a very toxic relationship with his dad and being gay and closeted, and all of the things that the show talks about. I think they're important. The only thing that I have a problem with is the sex and the nudity of teenagers, even though in real life they're not teenagers, they're adults, but in the show they're teenagers, so it's like, I don't know. But yeah, I already had a very long intro. I'm not gonna have a long outro. Hi, okay. My sister is being very annoying, so I'm gonna go. Okay, you can probably hear her. She's being very annoying. I'm gonna have to go now. What are your thoughts about what I said? Definitely watch Kenny JT's video, and yeah, the next special is coming in January. I'll probably also do a video on it, because like I said, because of all of this, I really love the show and I do want to continue watching it. I hope that's okay. I don't know. Oh, again, I'm so very conflicted about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go. Yeah, have a good day, I guess. Bye.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.